There you go. Can you hear me and see me now? Looks like we're back up again. I didn't understand. You know what I did? I didn't hit streaming. I've been talking for. I've been talking for 24 minutes. Oh my God! You missed one of the greatest. Oh my God! I was talking about the cryptos, and I was talking about. I can't believe it. I'm so sad. Let me check. You know what? I didn't even look at my Skype. Oh, you know. So sad. Let me check. You know what? I didn't even look at my Skype. Oh, you know. Oh my God. I've been yakking away. I've been pointing at things. I've been talking about everything. OMG. Oh my God. All right. Well, we're back up again, I guess. I've been pointing at things. I've been talking about everything. Oh, this crazy internet. All right. Well, we're back up again, I guess. No, we'll jump into that right now. No, let's do this. I'm going to do a quick update. No. We'll do a quick update, but I'll show you gold this moment. Oh my God, I've been yakking away thinking Santiago's talking to me. I've been talking about Mumbai. I've been talking about the two Commonwealth nations, Australia and Canada, going into heavy tapering out of nowhere and surprising everybody. I started off looking at the Aussie this morning. OMG. I can't believe I'd done that. Now I look over. What's up? Oh, I see. Even my Skype was not going. I didn't even have the Skype turned on. I don't know. This crazy weather, this crazy situation, and I'm so excited about what happened with the Royal Bank of Australia this morning. That was pretty wild. You know, Royal Bank of Australia followed in the footsteps of what was it? Canada, and they allowed they didn't jump into the bond auction, and the short-term bill jumped from 1/10 of one interest rate to 52.52. So I'll check the whole chat lines now. No one was saying anything. I thought I was talking with Santiago through all this, and Douglas. And then when Douglas just now said I cannot see anything, I looked up and realized that it was not broadcasting either. It had stopped. Crazy internet. All right. Well, here we go. We're going to do it again. We'll drag on for a while. I'm sure there'll be no problems. Let me check the whole chat line now that everybody's jumped in. Doc may be on his way. Hello. Doc is here. Yeah, I've been talking for 26 minutes now. If he isn't absent, okay, internet. Thank you, Janos. Yeah, indeed. Doc shows up even with a half a leg, you know, with the internet running through my telephone at times. And here we are now. There we go. So we are back here. Let's do this. Let's show gold real quick for who was asking about gold. Someone asked about gold. Anyway, I'm going to show you gold, and I'm going to start over. We'll do a quick run and gun. If anybody wants to see anything, just shout it out. We'll go after it. And there is, that was Bitcoin. I was on a tear about Bitcoin this morning, too. The cryptos have been doing some really interesting stuff. Now, there's gold. You can see it's holding up. And I'm going to just show you silver, too, because silver has been just leaky. Just not able to get going again. It's dropped into a daily sell for a few days. But look at the weekly. The weekly is very strong, so I wouldn't be too worried about the silver yet. Don't get too nervous on the silver. Okay? All right, now let me go through the chat line, make sure I caught everybody. Let's see. See anything, Doc, maybe? Hello? All right. Doc, let's see. I just don't want to miss anything anybody asked for. Don't you check? Okay, well, request. Doc is here. You think about gold. Okay, that was middle-aged gold. Yeah, middle-aged. Don't worry about the silver. You know, as long as it stays strong in that weekly. I did not spot your absence as I was looking at the GDP. I hear you. I thought you said you were in Mumbai, Santiago. There you go. Was I wrong? Yeah, I thought you were there. And I've got I got my Skype up too now. It got knocked off with that. When they all got knocked off, I got knocked off. And here I am. And what I'll do is I'll go on beyond my norm. There we are. There we go. There we go. All right, so let's jump back to that. What I started off with this morning that no one heard, that was a wonderful rendition, was the fact that the Royal Bank of Scotland followed, no, not Scotland, the Royal Bank of Australia followed in the footsteps with Canada. Canada did it on Wednesday, I guess it was Monday or Tuesday? Tuesday. Okay, Tuesday. And they didn't do tapering. And they announced that they're not going to do tapering on a particular bond issue. And so then, Australia did it last night, and so the short-term note went from 0.1% in yield to 0.52, like 0.5%. You know, just it went up four times in value. You know, it just exploded. You know, in a matter of minutes. And I'm wondering if this is a Commonwealth thing starting to build, where the Commonwealths are starting to walk away. Oh, well, I'm here. I'm going to stick around longer, so don't worry. I'll be around longer. Because there's an extra half hour always out there for me to use. Dukascopy lets me use the extra half hour if I need to. So we'll just keep on rolling along and go through all the things. I just won't trade for a while, that's all. No problem. So let's just go show you what caught my eye right here was, and let's put it up there, and you will be able to see it right there, is the Australian dollar. You know, how our math had picked up on this action. You know, look at it. It's been in a daily buy for 19 days. Look at that. And you can see it here on the fact check spreadsheet right, where's it at? Right there. 2 weeks in a buy, 19 days in a buy. So they knew they were not going to prop up the short-term bill anymore. They knew it. They front-runned it. That's what they did. Look at that. You can see it right there on the chart. My math picked it up. It's been screaming that. You go over to J4X. You can see we showed you on J. Well, I was talking to myself for 26 minutes, but let me just show you there. Let's see. Where's it at? It's up top here. There's the Aussie dollar, and you can see it on the daily on J4X. Look at it. It's been running up for weeks. You know, it might have backed off a little bit here, but it's been running up. And when you look at it on a weekly basis, they knew. They front-runned. In other words, they were making trades ahead of time without anybody knowing that they were not going to step into the bond market. Oh, who is they? These two women that live in Sarasota. These two little old retired ladies. No, it's the obviously the British, the Australian government. The Australian government front-runned their own product. So in other words, they just allowed it to, and any of their colleagues or friends that they share with. But obviously, you know, I mean, it was a government decision. Let me see if we can find it. Let me see if we can put it up on the screen here. I shared it on my Facebook this morning too. Let's see. Heading there now. Let's see. Here we go. I understand. Christine Lagarde says. Christine Lagarde has come out with her statement. She says, "We are not withdrawing QE. We are just recalculating it." Oh, how cute. Obviously, something's going on here, traders. But the end result is the Federal Reserve is the last answer to it all. They'll end up buying it all. Maybe the other countries are starting to say, you know what, we got Biden as an idiot here. and they're just going to let him, he's done so many bad things that hurt other countries already. Maybe he's losing all support around him at this point when it comes to the global leftists. Maybe they're all just thinking, skip him, let the Americans pay for this mess now. And the Federal Reserve will. They don't have much of a choice. They created this mess, they're going to have to pay for this mess. Let's see, now where do I want to go? I know where I want to go. Let's see if we can get that up there. That would not surprise me. I mean, Biden does not, is not polling very well anywhere at this point. It's pretty much the name of the game. Okay, let's see what we got here. I'm going to find it. I'm going to put it up on the screen as we speak. What's going on here? Get rid of that. It's here somewhere. I know I posted it. It might be in my stories. Here it is. Let's see if we can pause this and move this up. How do we pause this? Right there. Oh. Okay, there it is. It's the 2-year bond. Right there. There it is. That's last night. And that's the launch of it. It says here, the taper tantrum has begun. Australia's 2-year bond just blew up after, and then there's the story there. So, that is what we're talking about here this morning, is how well we spotted it, how well J4X spotted it, how well Doc's Math spotted it, and now, guess what? The world is spotting it, but it's already happened. It happened 3 weeks ago they made that decision. That's pretty much that's the clear story out of it all, really, is that they knew weeks ago. See? They went into a daily buy. We went 19 days. We're in 19 days, going on 20 days in a weekly daily buy at the moment. We are 2 full weeks. You can see the blue line jumped in there 4 weeks ago. The regular GAS 3 joined in 3 weeks back. They knew 3 weeks ago. They knew, the Australian government knew they were going to do this, and they told their friends and families and so forth, and they front-runned it. Now, will there be an investigation why there was this massive, constant buying of this product? And maybe it was discussed heavily here back in August, where it started to lift, and then it failed. They took some profits, and now they knocked it down, but it was a higher low, and then they did it again. Maybe that's what it's all about. Maybe it's it's been hiding in there all along. But that's the Australian dollar, and obviously they knew, because our math knew. So they knew. All right. Now, and you got to imagine on Tuesday, was it Monday? On Monday, Canada did that. Excuse me. Canada did that. So, and the end result is that it's been going on, and maybe it's a Commonwealth thing. Like I said, Biden is flying over to Europe to tell them how much he's going to save the planet, and maybe they're just fed up with him at this point. Maybe they're thinking we're going to do some tightening, and what's the downside when you really think about it? Christine Lagarde puts that message out there about 10 minutes ago. We're not quitting QE, we're just readjusting. Does that mean we're not going to put out as much money anymore? That's all. So if they're not doing $60 billion a month, maybe they're only going to be doing $20 billion a month or $10 billion a month. That's the readjustment called tapering, I guess. I mean, that's, we are in, I was talking with Robin about this morning. We're in uncharted territory. We've never seen anything like this. Not since Abraham bought the cave to bury Sarah in. I mean, literally, finance has never seen anything like this before. This is the strangest world ever. So, all right. That's 5,800 years ago. So this is definitely weird times. Let's jump over to the currencies again. And this time we go take a look at the Swiss. Right here. Where's that at? Right there. There's the Swiss. You see it's been, beating up the dollar a little bit, heading down. We're sliding into a daily sell. We're still in that weekly sell there. So you see the pressure there. We will throw it over here on the J4X just to give you a flavor of it and confirm we're seeing the same things on the same type of product. right there. Then let's see, where do we go from here? We'll take a look at, and if anybody wants to see anything, just say it. We'll just put it out there. Wow, did you just quote Abraham? You like that one? No, I'm quoting his finances. Abraham bought this cave in Hebron, right? And he paid X amount of coin for it. You know, it's recorded, and that's like 5,800 years ago or 5,700 years ago. And you know, in this case here, you know, the governments have taken that coin and made it almost worth zero in a sense, and then you still, or vice versa. It would be like the people. It'd be like the people who he bought the cave from had to pay Abraham to take the cave. That's what I'm saying. Isn't that funny? I mean, that's the world we're in. It's strange. I mean, what is there? 15 trillion, not billion, not million, 15 trillion in European assets that trade at a minus every day. So if you want to own any one of those assets, you have to pay the government an interest rate to own their bonds. So yeah, we're in definitely weird territory when it comes to that. And then they want to go around whining about cryptos like they're illegitimate. We have a saying out on the camping trail, you know, out on the prairie here. It says it's like the kettle calling the pot black. You know, are you kidding me? 15 trillion are invested in a minus, and they want to tell us how cryptos have no value and it's a pyramid. Okay, yeah, right. Tell me another one. All right. Let's get over to the euro. Here's the euro this morning. You can see it's starting to show. A lot of these things are starting to really lift up after the GDP numbers, and the, you know, this. Let me digress a little bit here. This literally could be nothing more than the fact that no one has enough money to do what the Fed is doing. I mean, it could literally just be as simple as that. In other words, you know, Royal Bank of Canada, the Royal Bank of Australia, now the European ECB, they just may not have the money anymore to do this. What's the old saying? What was it? I know what it was. It was Elon Musk from Tesla yesterday, or 2 days ago, came out and said about the billionaires tax. They said they'll tax us first, and then they'll come after you because there's not enough money from us. In other words, if you taxed all 600 and some odd billionaires in America, if you took away all their money, if you actually took all their money away from them, it wouldn't be enough to pay for 1 year of debt that they've generated. And so he said, sooner or later you run out of other people's money to spend. We may be just seeing this. That's what we might actually be seeing. No, see, Mr. Bernanke got his PhD on this. He wrote a paper about what they could have done better and cost less. That was his thesis for his PhD, and he implemented it when they started quantitative easing. He theorized that central banks should buy assets, prop up the economies of their countries, and not allow people to lose. See, the Great 29 Depression, what happened was that banks went under, and no one propped them up. No one held them up. So people had good people, you know, in other words, good businesses, good people, responsible businesses, had their money sitting in banks, and the banks went out of business, and there was no insurance to protect that. So Bernanke wrote this paper, his PhD paper, to get his thesis, you know, get his PhD on the concept of propping them up. If the Federal Reserve, which was it 16 years old back then, if the Federal Reserve had just bought the bonds of every one of those banks and given them cash to protect the investors, the Depression wouldn't have been as violent as it was. And so that was the logic of it all. And so in many ways, this webinar today has been based off of what the two Commonwealths have been doing. And that's why I was talking with you, Santiago. I was actually discussing it with you when I didn't realize I had lost the broadcast, because you had said, what did you say at the very beginning? "Evening, Doc, how are you doing today?" And I said, "Fine, doing really good." And then it wasn't for another 20 minutes until you said, "I cannot see anything." So I thought I'm talking to you, and I thought you could see me. So, yeah, I got bumped because of this crazy weather around here. And so anyway, no, it won't be another 1929, because Bernanke and his philosophy was, what if they had bought all those banks' bonds and held on to them for 50 years? You know, the Federal Reserve bought them, and then slowly, as the economy turned and got healthy again, they sold those bonds for a profit, or break even, let's say, and put them into the liquid, you know, the public market again. And so when Mr. Obama got elected, and the world economy started to collapse from the shenanigans of the Democrat Party, and the real estate bubble all exploded finally. And I can say this: George Bush was on YouTube and doing stuff. There were videos out there about him, you know, saying, "You gotta fix this." In 2005 and 4, he was saying this over and over to them, and they refused. You know, matter of fact, the congressman who was in charge of it, the Democrat Barney Frank from Massachusetts, was actually crying on Marie Bartiromo's show, saying, "I thought we were doing the right thing. I thought we were doing the right thing by lending this money, you know, with no responsibility." And he actually was crying on TV. That YouTube has disappeared also. So we knew these problems were there. We knew that when Obama was getting elected and going to win, we knew that the markets were going to have major problems about this, and it did. It crashed the world economy, and the world economy crashed from these long, steady, crazy policies, and Bernanke was Federal Reserve chair, and he pulled out his PhD thesis, and he thought, okay, we'll prop up the world, we'll buy all these assets, even if they're bankrupt, we'll buy them anyway, and then we'll sell them out 25, 30, 35, 40 years from now. And in the scheme of things, you know, it will stop another world disaster. And so that's how that all plays out. Does that make sense to you? Is it true that W.D. Gann coded his system in the book Tunnel Through the Air? I don't know, but let me look that up. Tunnel Through the Air. You know, that sounds like the way, like, the same thing as, what was his name? Nikola Tesla, talking about the wave frequencies, the magical wave frequencies. But, you know, there is no doubt that the Fibonacci sequence, which is a younger brother and sister of my work, you know, is definitely something we see everywhere in our world. It says, the tunnel through the air, or looking back from 1940. Okay, here it is. Let's see what it says here. Tunnel Through the Air. Oh, it's on Kindle for $1.99. Let's see what it says. It's a paperback. Let's see. The scarce antiquity book is fascinating reprint of the original. Due to the age, it may contain imperfections. Okay, let me see if I can find some definition of it. I saw some definition of it. Let's see if we can find a little bit more on it. Let's see. So, Tunnel Through the Air definition. Let's see. Decoded, archive, original, archive. How about original? Let's see what that says. No, see, they want to sell me a book. I'm sure someone has written out an opinion on this. I just want to get the flavor of what it is. Let's see if we can find that. Tunnel Through the Air. Uses the Bible to explore the secret to the success of living. Oh, interesting. W.D. Gann wrote a Tunnel Through the Air in 1927. It's a kind of very different book from all other of W.D. Gann's books. Let's see, uploaded. Let's see if we can find something. Decoded. Let's see what Decoded says. Let's put it this way. What's it about? Let's see what that says. Someone has to have written something about it. The book describes an imaginary war from April of 1930 to 32 in which Robert single-handedly helps the United States win with an amazing invention. Oh, interesting. Okay, here we go. Here's Wiki. So it's on Wiki. Okay. The early part of the book is mostly about the early life of Robert, including how he had found the lost his true love, Maria Stanton. Oh, I recognize some of this because I've heard about Maria Stanton. Okay. Let's see. Spain and Japan were threatening the United States. Let's see. Fact quotes. There are a number of quotes in the book which are unclear if they are really said or written by the person. For example, in page 191, Gann quoted Pythagoras in the following. Yeah, well, some people look at Pythagoras' formula as something, insightful. There are women's eyes, two sorts of tears. You see, similarly, in page 192, Gann included the following quote. Southey. There are three things. Okay, let's see. Let's see if we can get. Is there anything talked about his secret weapon? That's what I want to see. What was the secret weapon? Was it like the Fibonacci sequence where it predicts future events? You know what I mean? That's what I'm looking to see. I want to see what the secret weapon was, right? And that basically what it comes down to is he developed a secret weapon, and I want to see what the secret weapon was. Tunnel Through the Air. What is? Let's try that. What is the secret weapon? I would say it's the sequence, right? I mean, that's what I'm thinking. It's unhidden. Okay, so the Tunnel Through the Air, looking back, let's see. The time tunnel. Okay, secret weapon. Two soldiers pass by, one bumps into Tony. So I guess science fiction early years. Okay. California engineer. Pressurized. Do you know that Gann bought an airplane like in the first couple years that they were invented, and he would fly over crops and look down to see what the development was. Interesting. Ratio, cycle, reputations. Ah, I see. Yeah. So he commingled the Fibonacci sequence as a tool, because when you look at the spiral, you look at the spiral and all that other stuff, that's there, Yeah, so that makes sense. Well, I'll look into it even deeper. I think over the weekend what I'll do is I'll try to read some of the book and see if I can find how he analogized the Fibonacci sequence. Yeah, that's one of the, like I said, W.D. Gann, he bought an airplane. I don't know if it was like 1920, something like 1918, 1917, taught himself how to fly and started flying over like soybean crops and corn crops and doing like fundamental analysis. I think he'd gone to Texas A&M, agricultural and mechanical school. I think that's what his background was educationally. So he had no problem with machines. So I guess, he teaches himself how to fly, buys an airplane, he's looking down on crops to see if he can predict success and failure of production for the short term using the Fibonacci sequence, which is probably what he learned in, the Fibonacci sequence has been talked about forever, but here he takes it and commingles it with modern markets at the time, back in the turn of the century. Now, which is really funny, as we were talking about that yesterday, is that R.N. Elliott, he's taking the same type of approach with math, and he's using set theory, true or falses, like Lewis Carroll. Everybody here, I can send you a copy. No, that's all right. I'm sure it's offered for $1.99, so I'm sure I can get a hold of it. You're welcome to send it to me if you want. Send it over to my Skype. Can you see my Skype? I'm not sure if you can see my Skype or not, but you can send it over there. But I can buy it for $1.99, and we'll look it up and see how it all works out. But I would imagine what he did is he took the Fibonacci sequence, and he takes time, and since Fibonacci in essence is telling you in the future where something's going to be, right? And when it hits a certain point where it will stop, and it tells you in the future when that's going to happen. And when you look at the action of it, that's probably what it's all about in the end. I mean, I think that's probably the name of the game, right? So, all right, we'll look into that over the weekend, and we'll talk about it on Monday. I'll see if I can find and ferret out exactly what he might have been thinking about. Now you got to imagine, I think I label my work as pre-Fibonacci. Before there was a Fibonacci sequence, Doc's math existed. So, we'll see. We'll see. All right, where do we go from here, traders? Does that satisfy the question and answer about the tunnel through the air? And what we'll do now is we'll just go back to some of the currency pairs. Where did we leave off? We'll do a quick run and gun through it all. There's the euro. Let's look at the cable. You can see the cable still in a weekly buy here. It's Thursday, but still flirting underneath in the daily sell for the last 5 days. Again, this Commonwealth thing is doing something. Over here on the, let's see, where do we go from here? We go to, let's just check it out on J4X just to confirm it. Right there. And there's the daily. We're going to jump over to the Turkish lira again. Remember, I've already talked about these things once without anybody hearing me. You can see Turkish lira is trying to turn up. We're cleanly through the weekly buy with no problem. And you can see that right here with the dollar Turkish lira pairs trade on J4X, same situation. Maybe we're starting to see a green finally. When I first, when I showed this morning 45 minutes ago, I said almost an hour ago, I said, wait another hour or two and it'll become green. It was red. That's cool. All right. And if anybody wants to see anything particular out of my sequence, no problem. We'll go look at it. Let's take a look at the euro against the Turkish lira. Right there. Oh my God, what did I sing? I sang something this morning too, I think. Did I sing something? Someone said something and the sunshine or something like, you are my sunshine. Someone posted, was it Jordan said? No, who was it? It was Douglas. I think someone said something about the sunshine, so I started singing the sunshine. You missed me singing. In the middle of the show, I started singing. I love it. Doc's crazy. All right, let's jump over to the Canadian Commonwealth and see what they're doing. Right there. And you can see there the Canadians still heading down. This could literally be, when we look at the situation, this thing that Lagarde said, this could literally be the country's running out of money now. Dollar index. Okay, let's check out the dollar index. Let's see, right? I just saw it. There it is. There's the dollar index. You see it's still in a daily buy, even with it pressuring down right now. You can see it's still in the weekly buy also, but notice the blue line on the 5 of the 3-5 is breaking down for a second week. We'll see how they play with that. Let's check it out over in J4X. Where's it at? I know it's here somewhere. Where is it at? It's on here. Dollar index. There it is. Now you can see it was bouncing up for the last few days, and now we're starting to get a red here. And you can see the line is still fighting not to go through. It's like just the way we are here. See that? So there's the Douglas. There's the dollar index. And you know what? Why don't I open up while we're at that? Why don't we open up? What was it? We looked at the Nifty 50 yesterday, and we watched the Brazilian Real. Let me just take a look at those two also. There's the Nifty 50. It's breaking down today. You can see that we're having some little weakness here, but the weekly looks awful strong still. I mean, we are down low, no doubt about that. The daily is, you know, doing a little action there, looking like it's trying to go into a sell. And then let's look at the Brazilian Real right there. That went into the sell yesterday, right there. You can see it's, let's just fix that in there. There's the sell from yesterday. And you can see it's pressing down again a little bit here today. And our weekly's been in a weekly sell for months, all the way back to July. Okay. San Diego says, "Hey Doc, do you know I see trees of green-red roses. Tools see them bloom for me and you. I think to myself, what a wonderful world." You want me to sing "What a Wonderful World" is? What a wonderful world. The dollar's going up. Yeah. Yeah, I think dollar's losing value really right now. You're along the Nifty 50. Yeah, a little weakness there. That week, if that weekly, let's flip back to that real quick. If the weekly breaks down, I would, well, actually, that's, yeah, there it is. It's starting to break down even. You see that there? It's playing with the zero line also. Let me get rid of that one. See, it's trying to do that this week. And you can see it's in a daily sell from yesterday, right there. You can see the weekly's pressing down now. Louis Armstrong, yeah. What a wonderful world. Do 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 do. Oh dear. Yeah. So that's there. Now let's jump back to the currencies, and let's check out. We were looking at the Canadian, right? There's the Canadian. And with that, we can go over and check out the, you can see here, it's gaining in value, or at least flat. I think the world might be getting a little tired of, look, I think Mr. Biden, look, I think I'm going to use that word a fourth time. Look, Mr. Biden is not doing anybody any favors outside his own political party. He's hurt NATO. What was it? The British Parliament, you know, voted him in sanction. What, 4 months ago, 3 months ago? The NATO said it's the worst event ever to happen, what Mr. Biden did to NATO in NATO's history. I mean, I think there's a few other countries that have jumped out and said stuff like that. You know, they may be getting tired of him. You know, they may know he's on his way out. I know for sure. I am dead sure he will be impeached, and so will she. They're going to be impeached in the next 12 months. They will. They are going to be impeached like, you know, going into January of 2023, they're going to be impeached without a doubt. They may disappear altogether. You know, this is the biggest snafu of a presidency I've ever seen in American history. I mean, it's really bad. So why not, out of nowhere, you know, Royal Bank of Canada just decides that they're not going to do certain tapering. They made that announcement on Monday. Why not, out of nowhere, last night, the Royal Bank of Australia decides that they're not going to step up and taper. Today, Christine Lagarde refers to it as a new way of, what did she say again? Let me go find that. How did she say it? She said something really cool. I liked it. I mean, no doubt she's a charlatan in many ways, but what did she say? We are withdrawing. We are not withdrawing from QE. We are just recalibrating it. That's what she said. That's the ECB. So, you know, that's the whole gig of it all. That's the whole gig of it all. We're going to do another 15-20 minutes here, and then we'll call it a day because we lost those 20 some odd minutes in the beginning. And then let's see there. We got what is it? So let's take a look at, since we just left Canada, let's go check out. There's silver. You can see the pressure on that as we showed you before, and we can see there's the pressure on oil right there, and the only one that's firm out of it all is gold. Gold is still in a daily buy, and it looks like it's going to jump into that weekly buy right there. Look at that. It's holding up. Today's Thursday. Let's see if Friday they can close it up here. What a wonderful world. I think to myself. Oh yeah. Let's see what else we got going on here. Okay, so that's that. Now let's jump over to the South African rand. Maybe that's why, you know, we've been wondering why we're seeing strength or weakness against the dollar in the South African rand. You know, with the silver going into a weekly buy and gold holding up, we've been a little confused why the rand is not getting any legs to it. And you can see here, look at that. It's still climbing. And that weekly attempt at the beginning of the week to go into a sell seems to be erasing itself right there. Let's show you that. Right there. So you can see right there, look at that. It's still climbing. And that's kind of trying to tell us something. I'm not sure what exactly. I guess, let's put it this way. If some of the central banks around the world start to step back because of all the dilemma and catastrophic events of Mr. Biden, maybe what's going to happen is the weight of this whole thing is going to fall on the shoulders of the Federal Reserve. And only the Federal Reserve can afford this circus act. And maybe they're even voting about the bill that Mr. Biden is trying to pass. Maybe this is the way the foreign countries get their point across. They start stepping away from quantitative easing because they don't want to see the Americans go spend another $3 or $4 trillion on nothing. Maybe it's just as simple as that. It could be literally that simple. Let's see, everyone is afraid to say that they do not know anything in politics. Yeah, well, that's classic, you know. They try to hide it. And you got to figure, like last night, you know, I woke up and saw what had happened. I guess it was like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. I woke up towards the London Open, right? And I saw what Australia did. And I went right to the you know, the stock market and went to see what they were doing. Then I went and looked at the Australian currency and went 19 weeks in a daily buy. They front run this whole thing. And then I looked at the U.S. stock market, and the U.S. stock market was up. And I figured it would be, because in the end, the Federal Reserve is going to be, it is the world reserve currency. And so as much as they abuse everybody and force them to spend, in the end, the Federal Reserve is going to be the one stuck with this whole thing. It's the only one that can afford it, because they're the world reserve currency. They can float a few trillion more, not give it to the politicians, but float the trillions to support the bonds and the equities. They can do that and hold on to them for 40, 50 years. But they can't afford, what the world really can't afford is the American Democrats that are socialists try to destroy the American economy. That they can't afford. That's definitely not what the Europeans want, or the British, or the Australians, or the Canadians. They don't want to see, you know, the socialists get full control in this country and destroy the American economy like the CCP has done to its economy, or the CCCP you know, the old Soviet Union or Cuba or Venezuela. You know, they don't want to see that happen. So this might be the way for them to do it. They just start to back away. As Christine Lagarde says, we're not leaving QE. We're just recalculating. That's all. And that would make a lot of sense. You know, I mean, that would. I mean, you know, they don't want to be political. They want to be apolitical. And so that would make total sense that they do something like that. So, do you always look at the weekly trend to enter a trade? Yes. When trading the spot or the hard delta. When I'm trading the binaries or the options, I use a more short-term point of view, and I use the daily and intraday. But when it comes to the hard delta, because see, when you buy the spot or sell the spot or short the spot, okay, you can get stopped out. But if you buy a binary or sell a binary or you buy options, you can't get stopped out. Okay? So it's a matter of mechanics more than anything else. Does that make sense to you? Because when you use the weekly and the daily, like here's a good example. South African Rand is in a weekly buy. Okay? It was flirting with the weekly sell. We are in a daily sell here. But you're not short, but you're not long either. You're flat. Okay, that's that third position. Then you go into a daily buy here. I guess the daily buy was right there. There's the daily buy. No dot at all, and it's plus through the line, the zero line here. Okay, so you're going through the plus line there. And then what happens is that it goes up in value. See that? Up in value. And then the two together generate about an 8.5 out of 10 accuracy rate. So that's what it's all about. Yeah, I think you can see it. You can make friends. You want to make friends through Facebook? Sure. Let's see, where's it at? I'll just put it up there real quick for you. Let me see if I can find it. Where the hell's it at? Facebook. Where are you, Facebook? It's there somewhere. It's around here somewhere, I guess. Isn't it on here somewhere? It just says Murray, right? Let's see. Why don't... There it is, Murray Rosenberg. So that's where we stand with the using the two signals together. Now, when you're using, like I said, you know, I don't want to repeat myself. It's not worth it unless you want me to explain it deeper. But so there, then let's see, where do we go from here? Let's go over to the Ruble, and the Ruble is doing a little bounce up. You can see today it's got a little volatility signal going on, but we're still in the weekly sell for a while here. You can see that right there. And we've been in the sell since August. So the pressure has been down. We've been in a daily sell since here. So the two united together makes it a winning trade. Then let's see. Let's just take a look at it over on J4X real quick. There you are. You can see the pressure is still down on it. And I imagine we'll probably still... Okay, yeah, see, it's starting to turn greenish. And the line is moving up just like ours is moving up here with the Chicago Quant. All right, over to the yen. Let's check out the yen right there. You can see the yen is even trying to move gain against the dollar at the moment. You can see the weekly still the weekly. It's, you know, it's been in a weekly buy for a while there. And then let's put it up on J4X right there. I'll take another sip of my tea. Let me check my, let me just check the, let's see, I think everything's moving along. Cool. Just going to make sure my Skype is functioning right. Yep, there it is. Cool. You can see there that the yen trying to break down a little bit on the daily. I mean, it's been kind of pushing down for days, and we were in a daily sell, and it jumped into daily buy right here for 2 days, and now it's flirting again with the sell. And then last but not least, we'll go over to the Mexican peso. Right there. And it's starting to lift up again. We're seeing some odd action out of that, in the sense of we thought it was going to stay down more, but again, I think there's some real political issues going on and some financial issues at the same time. I think it's starting to hit the whole world. I think that what Mr. Biden's been doing to us is starting to filter into the rest of the world. People are probably not very, countries are like, we depend on you. We don't need you to be crazy. And we've already done socialism. It doesn't work here. You can't go do it, because then we're really in trouble. So that could be literally part of what we're seeing here. And I can imagine, that's a lot of money, $60 billion a month the ECB's putting in. We have, I don't even know what Britain puts in, but I'm sure they're putting in 15 or 20 billion a month. That's a lot of money, especially when you can't create it out of thin air, and they actually borrow from the Federal Reserve at times. We've made our case about that yesterday, and days before, and weeks before, and years before. We've been making that case where we don't understand why, if they can create this stuff out of thin air, why they don't. And they don't. They end up borrowing. We see them go to the Fed night window. So something's going on there. Yeah, I did cybernetics and physics and computer science in the 70s. Cybernetics is really the philosophy of computer science. That's the best way to describe it. In other words, it's like the theoretical side of computer science, cybernetics. Feedback systems, do loops, just like, coding. It's the theoretical concept of coding, I guess you could say. And just computer science in general. Let's see. What else we got going on here? Let's see. All right, from there, that finishes up our currency look. Oh yeah, middle age. Yeah, Robin, didn't we talk about that? You think so? We're going to start doing butterflies in that, or something like that, or trapezoids. We're waiting. Let me go. Let's go to that. Let me close the. Let's see. What do we do here? Let's do this. Let's close that. And we're watching it too, because we're going to trade. We're going to put a position on in that with the beans. Let me go put it up on here. Yeah, we're going to, or trapezoids. We're going to do something, because we're figuring that the real strength kicks out in March. I think that's what it is. That's what we're looking at. Let's go over to it. There we are. There's beans lifting. Let's see, where's meal at? There's meal. There's deck meal. All right. See, we've been in. Let's scrunch that up. See, we've come down from the fours. The all-time highs, I guess they would be. And we're flirting with a bottom in here. No doubt we might be seeing the cup and saucer starting to develop in here. We're in a weekly sell since here. We've gone into some good. We went into a weekly sell there, or was it one back maybe here, something like that. And then, is that right? Could that be right? Yeah, that was a weekly sell right there. So we went into the weekly sell off of that, and then we went into the buy 1 week there, I guess. Then we went right back into the sell again. So we've been, since May, we've been in a weekly sell all but 1 week. So it's been a bunch of weeks here, a dozen or so. Then we went into a weekly buy and another dozen or so of weekly sells. What is that? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This is the 14th week. And in here it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it was 12, then one weekly buy, then 14 weekly sells. So 25 out of 26 weeks. And so we're waiting to see that turn up. Matter of fact, what we probably want to do is we probably want to start looking at the March contract. That's what we're thinking. The 330 March calls? Smart. That's what we're looking at too. We're looking at the March calls. That's exactly where we're heading also. That's a smart move. So, yeah, that's the name of the game there. What a wonderful world. La 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 la. All right, what else we got, traders here? Anybody else see anything particular? We can go through. Let's see, where did we leave off? We were looking at, we finished the currencies. So let's just take a quick run through the metals complex, and then we'll close it for the day. And if anybody sees anything they want, we'll look at it. Well, I'm glad you enjoy that. Thank you, Santiago. Let's go over to there. There we go. Yeah, I think we're going to start following the March contract and see if we're getting into a weekly buy. Matter of fact, tomorrow I'll have it up there. We'll have the March contract, and we'll take a look and see what they're doing with that. Let's see what else we got going on here. So you can, let's see, it's right there. There it is. So there's gold. You can see that's lifting up. We showed you the silver where it's sideways still to down. And copper is trying to lift up. You see right there it's trying to get going. But it's also flirting with its weekly sell at the same time. So it's a lot of dancing going on in there, you know. Heading over to crude oil. Oh, natural gas. Check out natural gas. We're in the January contract now. It's showing some weakness this morning. And the weekly is getting close. I don't know what that's all about, but we'll see how they play that out. But this is January. November expired yesterday. And then, let's see. Let's check out the crude. I think we saw the crude already once, but we'll just take a look at it again real fast. There's the crude and DEC. We're going to be moving out of the DEC. No, wait a minute. DEC is new. That's right. Because November's getting ready to expire. No, yeah, November's getting ready to expire right now. That's what it is. So that's that. You see the pressure on that. It seems like it's off its lows and it's moving up towards its highs. That's not too bad. All right, I think we're going to call it a day. Unless anybody wants to see anything, we'll just show you the stock indices real quick. You can see the NASDAQ 100 flying up. You can see the S&P 500, which went into a sell yesterday, is flying up, but still hasn't been able to get its game together. Let's just give that a refresh and see what happens. And we'll widen that out. There it is right there. You can see it's dancing. The weekly is strong, so they're not going to give it up. The world reserve currency is going to hold all this stuff up. Keep the markets firm. All right. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Ta-ta for now, traders. See you on TGIF.